Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all staying safe, I hope you're all staying well, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video I want to talk Start Collecting Age of Sigmar, and today we're going to take a look at an army that you can build with two box sets. That's right, we're going to take a look at an army that combines both the Slaves to Darkness Vanguard box set and the Slaves to Darkness Regiment of Renown box set that's soon to come out from Games Workshop. We're going to do a 1,000-point army focused on just these two box sets combining together to make an army. And so let's get cracking on into it. We're going to look at all the stuff in this box set, then in the other box set, and then we'll finish off with a little sample army list like normal. Now, the contents of this box set. First of all, we get a Chaos Lord. So the Chaos Lord is a standard foot hero we get for the Slaves to Darkness. See him pictured at the front with his big glaive there. He's got a variety of different weapons, which is pretty cool. So he's got to use a Reaper Blade with 3 attacks, 3 threes, Rend 2, damage 2. And then he's also got his Demon Bound Steel as well. 3 attacks, 3 threes, Rend 1, damage 1, which is pretty cool. Although he can be armed with a Demon Bound Warflail as well for a 2-inch range, 6 attacks, 4 threes, Rend 2, damage 1. So there's some cool options available for the model. Now, he's got a cool rule with Retinue at the start of the first battle round. Before picking and determining who has the first turn, you pick a friendly Chaos Warrior or Chaos Chosen unit on the battlefield that is not another unit's retinue, and they are now his retinue. What happens with that retinue is before you allocate a wound or mortal wound to your Chaos Lord, he can effectively palm them off onto his friendly unit. And then he also, after this unit's fought in the combat phase, if his retinue's wholly within 12 inches of him, he can bring them in and fight directly after him. Other than that, his Demon Bound Steel or Demon Bound Warflail is a 6 on the hit roll. He can do some mortal wounds in addition to any other damage as well. Now joining him, we have some Chaos Warriors. This is a unit perfect for being his retinue. Chaos Warriors are pretty stock standard. These are, our base infantry unit for the Slaves to Darkness. Now, they can have either the Murderous Weapons for 2 attacks, 3 threes, Rend 1, damage 1, or Ensorcelled Halberds, which will give them a 2-inch range but go to 4 to hits rather than 3. Now, you've got Kratos Rune Shields, you've got 5-up save against all mortal wounds. And the Bringers of Desolation, you add 1 to your attacks while you're hollow within enemy territory or hollow within 12 inch of an objective you don't control. Some pretty nice bonuses there. Meaning, you can go up to like 3 attacks on each model. You've got 3-up save, 2 wounds, solid unit all around. Now, the Chaos Knights are going to have the same rune shields as well, so they've got that 5-up mortal wound save. You've got the option of giving them all some Cursed Lances, and you can have the Cursed Flail on the champion as well, or the Ensorcelled Warhammer, which is pretty nice. All these are just going to provide some decent rend and damage. They really do the most with those impaling charge attacks from the Lancers, getting +1 damage and +1 rend when they manage to get those charges off. Now, lastly, we have a Chaos Chariot. This can be built as a Gore-Beast Chariot as well. For this video, we're going to focus on the Chaos Chariot. It's what I probably recommend building up. Now, this thing has some cool rules. First of all, after this unit makes a charge move, you roll a dice equal to the number of the charge roll for its charge move, and on each 5, it can do some mortal wounds. It can, once per battle, run and still charge, and, you can get a decent amount of attacks out of the model. It's a nice little additional piece to have for your force. And so then we have Jaxs Pit Beast, a Regiment of Renown box set. As I said, is soon to come out from Games Workshop. First of all, the first model we get is actually a character model inside this box set, the Ogroid Myrmidon. Now, first of all, he's just an amazing miniature. This is one of my favourite miniatures in all of Age of Sigmar. 8 wounds, 4-up save. He's also not a monster, so this means he's going to benefit from being a Galatian champion, which is pretty cool. He's got some cool rules, and I think there's certainly some fun ways to buff him up and really make him quite interesting at this points value for the game. And we'll talk about that in the sample army list. But other than that, he's got his Gladiator Spear, which he can throw for 1 attack at 18 inch, 3 threes, Rend 1, damage D3, or in combat, it's 4 attacks, 3 threes, Rend 1, damage 2. He adds 1 to his wound rolls if he's been allocated any wounds earlier in the same phase, and if the unmodified hit roll for an attack member of his melee weapon is at 6, he scores 2 hits on the target instead of just 1. Joining him, we have the Fomeroid Crusher. Now, the Fomeroid Crusher is just a normal unit you can add to your force. It's not a monster once again, but it does have 10 wounds and a 5-up save. Now the Fomoroid Crusher has his Crushing Fist and Swinging Macery, 4 attacks, 3 threes, no rend damage 2, but he does add 1 to the damage characteristic of his weapons while he's within 1 inch, and he can throw his held terrain for 2 attacks, 3 threes, rend 1 damage 2 as well. Now his Curse Destroyers rule, in the hero phase you pick a terrain feature within 6 inch and roll a dice for each other unit within 6 inch of the terrain feature and any that are garrisoning it. On a 3+, the unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. In addition, if the terrain feature is a faction terrain feature or defensible terrain feature, and the roll is a 3 or more, the terrain feature is demolished as if it was defensible, and the scenery rules on its roll scroll can no longer be used for the rest of the battle. So pretty cool. You can get rid of terrain as well, and he gets better when he's around it. Lastly, we have the Mind Stealer Sphinx. This is the giant cat llama you see on the right. 10 wounds, 5 up save, 5 attacks in melee with 3s, rend 1 damage 2. Big thing is its Dominate Mind ability. At the start of each combat phase, you pick an enemy unit within 9 inch that's visible and roll 2d6. If the roll equals or exceeds the bravery characteristic of the enemy unit, the Strike Last effect will apply to them. And so here we have our sample army list. Now, we've gone for taking, first of all, the host of the Everchosen for that nice rally on our Chaos Knights and Chaos Warriors on that 5+, which is cool. And then Mortal Realm is Gur. Our grand strategy takes what's theirs. We're going to have more units of ours in our opponent's territory than they do. And Triumph, we've got Inspired. We're 10 points under. Every chance we might get that +1 to wound. Now, the Ogroid Myrmidon is going to be our general, and the reason I've done this is I think there's a nice little combo here. So the combo we've gone for is Death Dealer. He gets to attack, and then he can get attack again later in the round, but that will have the Always Strikes Last effect. Now, what this is really cool with is the fact that he hits first with his normal. If your opponent hits him back during that time and doesn't kill him, he'll actually get better because he'll have his I've suffered a wound, so he can, potentially get his own little buff off with this. Now, his artifact is the Hellfire Sword as well, where he does mortal wounds equal to the damage characteristic of his weapon on the wound roll, which is nice because his hit roll ability works then, potentially proccing 6s for extra hits, and then getting us more wound rolls, which is nice. Mark of Nurgle is what we've chosen through the whole army. This is just -1 to wound our units. And then we've gone Leadership of the Alpha, so once per game he can use a command 3 times. This might be a rally which only, will affect 2 of our units, so it's not necessarily going to be the most effective, but even being able to use that and get a rally off on both those Chaos Knights and Chaos Warriors on a 5+ once per game is pretty cool. We then got a Chaos Lord. He's just got the Mark of Nurgle in there for a second Galatian champion. Battle line wise, we've got our Chaos Champion, 5 Chaos Knights, 10 Chaos Warriors, all of them with the Mark of Nurgle. And then the Chaos Warriors are also going to have the Eroding Icon, one of the ensorcelled banners, where we worsen the rend of attacks coming into them by 1. Other units, the Fomoroid Crusher and the Mind Stealer Sphinx, means we still can wrap everything up nicely in a battle regiment for a 1-drop force. 76 wounds on the table is pretty decent for 1,000 points. I think this is going to be a really fun army. It's got some interesting units. It'll be fun to sort of build, paint, and collect as well. And so that's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And also drop a comment down below letting us know what you thought of the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here at Sinful Gaming, we have a Discord server which is linked down in the video's description. Also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel, either by Patreon or YouTube members, or by grabbing yourself some channel merch from our Teespring or Ko-fi stores. As a special thank you to all our Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out for their amazing support. So thank you to our Patrons, Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lowell, Alderon Shot First, Andrew Bowen, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cader, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Iron Grinch, Nicholas Conomos, Colorblind Magic, Daniel Etherington, and Andy C. And a special thank you to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lockloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weird, James South, James Tillman, and Dylan Areno. Lastly, a special thank you to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you see here on the channel. Thank you for everything. And also a massive thank you to all our moderators on our Discord server and everyone that comes and helps film the battle reports on the channel. Thank you all once again. Stay safe, everyone. Stay well. And most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.